sarvada sarvasevyaya Shri Krishnaya namostume mad eka bandho mad sangin mad guru mad mahadana manistaraka mad bhagya madananda namostute Sadhu sadhu tadai nati nicho chatakara hanamuncha kadachin mam premna hritkantayosphura Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 6, text, Chapter 6 entitled Purusha Sukta Confirmed, text 29. Tataste bhrātara ime Tataste bhrātara ime prajānāṁ patayo nava prajānāṁ patayo nava vyaktam avyaktam puruṣaṁ su-samāhitāḥ tataste bhrātara ime prajānāṁ patayo nava vyaktam avyaktam puruṣaṁ su-samāhitāḥ. Please repeat. Ladies, tataste bhrātara ime ayajan vyaktam avyaktam puruṣaṁ su-samāhitāḥ tataste bhrātara ime prajānāṁ patayo nava ayajan avyaktam puruṣaṁ su-samāhitāḥ tataste bhrātara ime prajānāṁ patayo nava ayajan avyaktam puruṣaṁ su-samāhitāḥ. Tataḥ, thereafter, your bhrātaraḥ, brothers, ime, these, prajānāṁ, of the living creatures, patayaḥ, masters, nava, 9, ayajan, performed, vyaktam, manifested, avyaktam, non-manifested, puruṣaṁ, personalities, su-samāhitāḥ, with proper rituals. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. My dear son, thereafter, your 9 brothers, who are the masters of living creatures, performed the sacrifice with proper rituals to satisfy both the manifested and non-manifested personalities. Purport. The manifested personalities are the demigods, like the ruler of the heavenly kingdom, Indra, and his associates. And the non-manifested personality is the Lord Himself. The manifested personalities are mundane controllers of the material affairs, whereas the non-manifested personality of Godhead is transcendental, beyond the range of the material atmosphere. In this age of Kali, the manifested demigods are also not to be seen, for space travel has completely stopped. So both the powerful demigods and the Supreme Personality of Godhead are non-manifested to the covered eyes of the modern man. Modern men want to see everything with their eyes, although they are not sufficiently qualified. Consequently, they disbelieve in the existence of the demigods or of the Supreme God. They should see through the pages of authentic scriptures and should not simply believe their unqualified eyes. Even in these days, God can also be seen by qualified eyes, tinged with the ointment of love of God. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Gnanjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivikasa Swamiji Namine. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamiji Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sandhubheva patitānaṁ pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktarinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So first I was thinking to see what is the sequence of the verses that led to this particular verse in the Bhagavatam. In the 4th chapter of the 2nd canto, Parikshit Maharaj asked Shukadeva Goswami about the how the Supreme Personality of Godhead creates by His divine potency. Also how He maintains, creates the material world, phenomenal world. How He maintains those material worlds and how He annihilates them. So Shukadeva Goswami remembered that the same or similar questions were asked by Narad Muni. He asked his father, Brahma. He asked similarly, what is this? Describe the symptoms of the manifested world. What is its background? How is it created? How is it maintained? Under whose control all this has been done? Is there anyone? Are you doing under some control? Is there somebody bigger than you? So that Lord Brahma was very happy with questions because that gave him the opportunity to glorify the Supreme Lord. He's saying Narayana is the one who is my Lord. He is the creator. He's the source of everything. He's the creator. He's the maintainer. Everything is meant for him. So And then he describes how the creation came about, the basics of the process of creation. So first there's Purusha, Mahavishnu, he lies down, and then there's Mahatattva, time, gunas, activities, material elements, everything is manifested from the Mahatattva. And then that's how the material universes are created. That's very short. It's quite a complex process. And Mahavishnu then, in his device himself, so to say, in his Garbhodakashai Vishnu form, then enters each and every universe and makes them alive. And then he assumes the Virat, the whole universe, he assumes Virat Rupa. He becomes the super soul of the whole universe, and sometimes it's called Hiranyagarbha. So when we're speaking about Virat Rupa, sometimes this is equated with Hiranyagarbha. Technically this is not the same, because Vishnu, Garbhodakashai Vishnu, and his Virat Rupa are different, but many times it's equated. So we have to know in the context what is what. And then Virat Rupa is described. You know, this is this, this is that. So many verses we hear how this universal form Virat Rupa resembles the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What represents what? It's imaginary form, so to say, but it's also real in one sense, because why would it be so much described? There's a lot of talk about it. And then Brahma describes that when I was born from Garbhodakashai Vishnu, from his navel, I wanted to do sacrifice, and there was nothing else but the Lord. It was just Virat Rupa. So I had to take ingredients from the Lord. He says, that's Virat Rupa. You cannot take anything from the Lord, really. He's completely spiritual. But from his material form, of which he is Paramatma, you can. So he arranged all the ingredients from the yagya. He took that from the Virat Rupa, Virat Purusha also said, and performed the sacrifice to satisfy the Lord. That was in the previous verse. Now, Brahma says that the same tataḥ thereafter, then your brothers, who are the masters of living creatures, perform the sacrifice with proper rituals to satisfy both the manifested and non-manifested personalities. So they did the same as Lord Brahma did. Lord Brahma did the, like to say, first sacrifice. He showed how it's done, and then his sons, the brothers of Narad Muni, did it also. So these 9 brothers, we can enumerate them. They are described or enumerated in the 3rd canto. There's Marichi, Atri, Angira, Pulastya, Pulaha, Kratu, Brigu, Vasishta, Daksha, and Narad Muni. Narad Muni, the most important among these sages, rishis. Narad Muni is the Shaktivesh avatar of Bhakti Shakti, therefore the most important. All of them were created to generate the populate the world, to generate the population. So This chapter is called Purusha Sukta Confirmed because Vaishnavacharyas take this particular chapter as a commentary to Purusha Sukta. Purusha Sukta is a mystical text from the Rig Veda and speaks about the same, about the sacrifice, how the demigods did the sacrifice took from Purusha to Purusha. So in this particular verse and the next one is taken that equates, that like equals the text 7 from that Purusha Sukta, where it says that puruṣaṁ jātam agrata tena deva ayajanta. The demigods sacrificed to the Purusha, the firstborn, by means of him, tena. They took from him, and that's how they sacrificed him to him. And then in the next verse, we'll see that it will say that thereafter, tataḥ, after this yajna, there was also the manus, the fathers of mankind, the great sages, rishis, the forefathers, the learned scholars, the daityas, and mankind performed sacrifices meant to please the Lord. So they repeated the the sacrifice. So we see Brahma is a teacher. That's how it goes. Then others also did it. So sacrifice is meant to satisfy the Lord. That's Vishnu means sacrifice. That's written in the Vedic literature. It means to sacrifice. Yeah. And he himself is sacrificed, because we cannot sacrifice anything but him, because everything is from him. Shakti matora vedaha. There's no difference between the Shakti, power, energies, and the source of that Shakti. It's non-different. So Prabhupada says that the brothers of Narad Muni, so they, I mean it's in the verse, they were performed the sacrifice to satisfy the vyakta and avyakta. And then it said that the avyaktas are the demigods. They were manifested to the sons of Narad, sons of Brahma. So they were, but the Supreme Lord is avyakta. He's non-manifested. You cannot see him so easily. And Prabhupada says that nowadays we cannot see even. I mean, we feel also, it's our perception also, we cannot see the demigods even. The space travel doesn't exist anymore, which means that previously it existed, demigods would come. And I would say that even if they come, still we wouldn't see them. That's a different kind of matter, more subtle, that we cannot perceive. So it's avyakta. For the demigods and the Supreme Personality of Godhead is avyakta to us. It's non-manifested. It's there. They are there somewhere, but we cannot see them. And Prabhupada suggests, says that modern man doesn't say, oh, we cannot see it. Like, show me God. If you don't show, here it is. No, we don't accept. But then again, even if you show, you'll say, what? Like Duryodhana, this Krishna, who is he? He showed this Virat Rupa, but there's some magic, you know. No punya. If you don't have punya, you cannot see. Yeah, but Prabhupada suggests how to see God, how to see even demigods through the eyes of Shastra. Shastra, Chakshusha. We have to see through the eyes of Shastra. And and says and concludes, even in these days, God can also be seen by qualified eyes, tinged with the ointment of love of God. So even in these days, it's a process which works always. You know. So somebody caught what Prabhupada is actually quoting here. The eyes tinged with the ointment of love. What? Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena santa sadaiva hidayeshu vilokayanti yam shyama sundaram achintya guna swarupam govindam adi puruṣaṁ tam aham bhajami. So this is the way how to see Shyama Sundara, how to see Krishna, Krishna who has many amazing qualities, achintya, it's inconceivable qualities, but it can be seen, he can be seen with eyes tinged with the ointment of love. So, and this is, what is this? Is this seeing through the eyes of Shastra, or is it seeing? It's both. Actually, it's both. Because Shyama Sundara exists, and he is described in Shastra, but one can see through the eyes of Shastra and know that there's Shyama Sundara, this is how he looks, this he's blackish, plays flute and tends cows and has girlfriends and so on and so forth. We can know all that, but when we really see him, he is like that. There's no difference. So we see through the eyes of Shastra, and by practicing the process of bhakti, we get to see. We get to see. So Srila Jiva Goswami speaks about what is the means to know something, praman. So when he describes pratyaksha, which is normally pratyaksha, we say we don't believe our material senses because they're subject to they have 4 defects. But there's something better kind of pratyaksha. It's Vaidusha pratyaksha. It's the pratyaksha of the learned. So the learned, they see through the eyes of Shastra, and that doesn't mean just knowing Shastra, just like a parrot or some professor of Indology, that he would know our Shastra much better than we do, and quote for this and that, and maybe we, in comparison with such people, we are kind of seem completely ignorant. But that's not this kind of seeing. This is seeing when you know from the Shastra and you practice, and then you see it through your purified senses. Also called Vidvat Pratyaksha. It's the Pratyaksha of the learned. And the devotee is learned. He knows what he's doing. So actually our process of devotional service is to get this Pratyaksha. Krishna says also that it's not just theoretical, that's the whole point. Krishna speaks about, it's in the 9th chapter, 2nd verse, Raja Vidyam Raja Guhyam Pratyaksha Vagamam Dharmyam Pratyaksha Vagamam Dharmyam Susukam Kartum Avyayam. So this knowledge that Krishna gives in the Gita, or let's say spiritual knowledge, is Pratyaksha Vagamam. It's understood or seen, perceived directly, Pratyaksha. And Prabhupada says in the commentary to this verse, his purport, Bhaktivedanta purport, that the execution of devotional service is so perfect that one can perceive the results directly. And gives the example of one who's chanting Hare Krishna. If one chants Hare Krishna without offenses, then some transcendental pleasure comes, one can perceive that, and one becomes quickly purified from all the contamination. And if one, furthermore, if one engages in propagating this knowledge, then it's even better. Then one becomes quickly realized. So, says the method itself is so pure that simply engaging in it, one becomes pure. And then quotes one sutra from Vedanta, prakashascha karmani abhyasad, that by practice, execution of devotional service, abhyasad karmani, karmani means activities, one becomes enlightened, prakasha. So he gives the example of Narad Muni. We know that Narad Muni, there's quite a process how he became Narad Muni. Of course, this is a Leela of the Lord and devotee. He's a pure devotee always, but still there's this pastime, how he became Narad Muni, the Shaktivesh avatar of Bhakti Shakti. And when he was a son of a maidservant, not a very high-class maidservant, and the sages spend Chaturmasya there, and where Narad Muni and his mother were, and his mother was serving them. He was also around. He was attracted by them, and he asked them, "Can I take your remnants of your food?" And he got permission, and immediately his sins were absolved. And by being engaged like that, which means he continued to take the remnants of their prasad, he became attracted to the dharma of the transcendentalists. So he wanted to become also like them. And being with them, they would discuss about Krishna, they would discuss Krishna's pastimes, and naturally he was more and more attracted to hearing and chanting about the Lord. So Prabhupada says that by associating with the sages, Narad got a taste for hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord and developed a great desire for devotional service. So as described, prakashascha karmani abhyasad. So if one engages in devotional service, there will be enlightenment. So everything is revealed to him automatically. One can understand, and this is called pratyaksha, directly perceived. Also, when Krishna describes samadhi in the 6th chapter of the Gita, it speaks of the great happiness which the yogi who achieved samadhi feels. It says, sukam atyantikam yatad buddhi grahyam atindriyam. So that joyous state, one is situated in boundless transcendental happiness, and that is realized through transcendental senses. It's buddhi grahyam atindriyam. It's beyond the senses. It's by intelligence, buddhi, and that intelligence actually is the soul. I mean, it's the purified, or the senses, spiritual senses which belong to the soul. That is achieved. So this is completely something different from the happiness of the material world. So one has to see through the eyes of Shastra to actually come to the level that one can, and then I mean, get faith in Shastra. First you have to have some faith, and that comes by associating with sadhus, with devotees. And then one engages in the process which is given in the Shastra, and then one can really perceive what is there. You can perceive the goal of one's practice, Krishna, and attains Krishna prema. In the Bhagavatam, also in the beginning chapter, the second chapter, is similar topic is described. This is the famous verse, Tat Shradadhana Munayo Jnana Vairagya Yuktaya Pashyanti Atmani Chatmanam Bhaktya Shruta Grihitaya. So saying that those who are interested, seriously interested in knowing the absolute truth, Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavaneti Shabdyate, this tattva, the absolute truth, they if they are equipped with knowledge and detachment, and knowledge and detachment are the natural consequences of devotional service. That is just a few verses before. It says Bhakti Yoga, how's it go? Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha Janayatyashu Vairagyam Jnanam Chayadahaitukam. So, as a consequence of devotional service to Vasudeva Krishna, knowledge and detachment comes about. So, and the inquisitive sages, students who want to know the absolute truth, they're equipped with knowledge and detachment, and they realize the absolute truth, that Pashyanti Atmani Chatmanam, they see or realize Atmanam in their hearts. Atmani, that also means heart. How? By rendering devotional service in terms of what he has heard from the Vedanta Shruti. Bhaktya, with bhakti, with devotion, but it's qualified. What kind of devotional service is that? That one which is prescribed in the Vedas, in the Vedic scriptures. It's not just any devotion. Shruti Smriti Purana Adi Pancharatram Vidhi Vina Aikantiki Harir Bhakti Utpatayaiva Kalpate, that devotional service which is performed without reference to the Shastra, it's simply a disturbance in the society. Actually, it's not a devotional service. It's just the verse is using the word bhakti because those who perform this kind of bhakti think of it as bhakti, but actually it's not. So, yes, so this is the point. From knowing the Shastra, one executes devotional service, and then gets the realization of that. And scriptures, Shastra, is especially given by Krishna for conditioned souls, because on our own we cannot revive Krishna consciousness. That's why he manifested from him the Vedas and all other Vedic literatures. They emanated from him, from Narayana. Everything came. So then by Shastra, by Guru, and Super Soul in the heart, Krishna is teaching us. There's three personalities or objects, and then we understand that, oh, Krishna is my master, Krishna is my everything. So the process of devotional service is firmly based in the Shastra, and then by executing it, we get the results. It's not something artificial. It's said in the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu that that prema or bhava, which is the ultimate goal, sambandha abhideya prajānāṁ. Prajānāṁ is the goal of abhideya, devotional service. It's not something artificial. It's there in the heart, but it has to be revived by the process of devotional service. Kriti sadhya bhavet sadhya bhava sadhana abhida. So sadhana bhakti has two components. It's engaging one's senses in the service of the Lord, and it has the potency to reveal bhava. And nitya siddhasya bhavas, and this bhava is nitya, eternally perfect. And the sadhana bhakti is prakatyam hridi sadhyata. It just reveals that in the heart. So we engage in devotional service because there's so much to gain. This the Rupa Goswami gives the angas of devotional service, 64, enumerates them. And it all starts with Guru Padashrayas. First taking the shelter of Guru, Tasmat Krishna Diksha Dikshadi Shikshanam. And then one takes Diksha and education begins. Then Shiksha comes. And then Vishrambhena Guru Seva. With great faith we serve the Guru. Sadhu Vartmanu Vartanam. And we follow in the footsteps of great devotees, sadhus. So this is how it beginning. Actually, everything is given here, because the shikshanam which Guru will gives, the teachings which the Guru will gives teaches the angas of devotional service, but they are still enumerated, so we can check. It's there in the Shastra. So the Guru gives what is in Shastra. And the last 5 angas of devotional service enumerated by Srila Rupa Goswami are the most potent. And they have such a amazing potency. Duruhad bhute viryasmin shraddha durestu panchaka. You don't even have to have faith in them. Yatra swalpopi sambandha, just a little bit of connection with those 5 angas, sadhyam bhavajanmani. So for those who are saddhi, those who are truly intelligent, that's it gives rise to bhava, just a little bit of this 5 angas. And what means to be intelligent? The acharyas explain the intelligent are those who are offenseless. So that's one small, you could say, it's a small print. You should not be offensive while performing devotional service. Then the result will be very quick. It will very quickly come. So what are those 5 limbs of devotional service which are so much glorified by Rupa Goswami? Shraddha Visheshata Priti, Srimurti Rangri Sevane, to serve the deity with great love and reverence. So deity worship. Srimad Bhagavat Artanam Aswado Rasika Sahai, to relish Srimad Bhagavatam in the association of rasika devotees, experienced devotees, those who already taste the nectar of devotional service. Sa jati ashaya snigde sadho sangasvato vare, to associate with those who are more advanced than us and are affectionate to us. And nama sankirtanam, and chanting of the holy names, Shriman Mathura Mandalistitihi, and to reside at the holy places like Mathura. So these are the 5 most potent limbs of devotional service, and of the 5 most potent, the best is Nam Sankirtan. It says that Bhajanera Madhya Shreshta Navavida Bhakti. This is from Chaitanya Charitamrita, that among the all kinds of bhajan or angas of devotional service, Navavida Bhakti is best. Shravan, Kirtan, Smaranam, and so on. But, yeah, it's best. Why? Krishna Prema, Krishna Dita, Dhore Mahashakti. These 9 processes have a big, great Shakti, potency to give Krishna and Krishna Prema. It's amazing, all these 9 processes. But among them, Tarmadya Sarva Shreshta Nam Sankirtan. And Nam Sankirtan is best among these 9. And again, small stipulation. Niraparad Nam Loile Pai Premadhan. If one chants the holy names without aparadas, niraparada, then he gets the prema, he attains prema. So, devotional service is very easy. It seems that the only thing we should be doing is devotional service, and the only thing we should not be doing is doing offenses. And the whole process will be very quick, and we will be Pashyanti Atmani Chatmanam, we'll see the Lord, we'll realize the Lord within our hearts. And Shastra Chakshu will really see in the sense that it will materialize to us, materialize to our spiritual senses. With material senses we cannot see much. So, yeah, so this is the process of how the avyakta Lord, which is non-manifested, becomes vyakta, manifested. It's through the service, through devotional service, with some knowledge, and then love and affection will come along, and we'll see the Lord eye to eye. So this much I would say right now, and I'll ask for some questions or comments. Is there something? Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Yeah, you said that Shyam Sundar Prabhu has the color of the rain cloud. Shyam Sundar.
Shama Sundara.
Yeah, he has the color of the rain cloud.
Right.
And how about Blue Krishna? What's his name? Is he the Blue Krishna? The one with the blue color?
Shyama is considered blackish, bluish. It's not exactly black. It's not exactly blue, so it's called bluish, blackish. It's achintya guna swarupa. We cannot really imagine. We really have to see, and then we will understand.
So all those colors are Shyam Sundar.
It's the same. Yeah, bluish, blackish. This is Shyama Sundara. Hare Krishna. Please, just the mic. Prabhuji, here.
What is the meaning of Purusha Sukta, Prabhuji?
What's the meaning of Purusha Sukta?
Yes.
Why it's there?
No, in the title itself, the chapter title itself, Purusha Sukta
Sukta.
confirmed, right?
Sukta means Purusha. We understand the meaning. Purusha
yes,
means
the enjoyer.
The enjoyer or a person, in this sense, because it's about the Supreme Lord, it's the enjoyer. Sukta, well said, su-ukta, something which is beautiful prayers. These are suktas, sukta. There's many other suktas that su-ukta.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
You mentioned that Puruṣa Sukta is mystical.
Yeah.
You know more about the mystic part about it? Because actually I also came across a South Indian scientist.
Yeah.
And they said through Puruṣa Sukta, they were able to power a power plant. So only thing is he's speaking in Telugu. So I'm looking for somebody who can help translate this 20-minute video.
All right.
I can send that to you also.
Okay,
Do you know more mysticism of Puruṣa Sukta?
I am not a big expert on the Purusha Sukta. I read a little bit about Purusha Sukta in preparation to this class, so not to be completely ignorant about it. It's 16 verses. It's a Vedic hymn. It should be chanted with all the intonations, and not qualified to do that. We are not we are not taught that, but we have the essence of it here in these the pages of the Bhagavatam. So there's a Purusha Sukta in the Rig Veda, and there's Purusha Sukta is quoted elsewhere also in the Vedic literatures. Our acharyas actually quoted Purusha Sukta, but not exactly from the Rig Veda, but from Shukla Yajurveda. Let me just, I have it here. Satkriya Saradipika, that's quoted there for chanting, I guess, for the yagyas, and in Krishna Janmatiti Vidhi by Srila Rupa Goswami. That version from Shukla Yajurveda has 2 verses more. Yeah, you see, this is an unrealized knowledge. I know some facts and figures about Purusha Sukta, but yeah, it's the sacrifice is going on in that Purusha Sukta. Yeah, it's the same. Whatever we in a few verses here, it's written there. It's a little more. That's all. Means that's all. But it's spoken in a mystical language. You know, you sacrifice to the Purusha, by the Purusha, such things, and many other expressions like that. So mystical. In that sense, I said it. And there must be that much more to the mysticism of Purusha Sukta. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Something more? If not, then thank you very much for your kind attention. And Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.